Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Husqvarna 460 chainsaw. Customer complaint is that there was a poof of fire from the clutch area. Well, that clutch is roached, so I could see how there was some smoke and sparks and such. Maybe there was some oil that burned off and there was a poof of fire. Let's dig into this and see what actually got wrecked when this happened. We're going to use our official Husqvarna clutch removal tool and buzz this clutch off again. I made sure that the kill switch was in the off position and the threads are reverse threads. Check out the wear on this clutch. That is some serious tapered shoes on there. And dry, there's not oil to be found anywhere in this. The drum and the spur gear, hot, burnt, worn. Can't quite get the bearing off of there. So I'm going to remove this single screw and take the chain guide plate off. Now, you take a close look at this guide plate when I get it off here. At some point, I'll show you how hot it got, but there's also a tear in it. And I guess we're going to look at that later. Here's our clutch bearing and what's left of our worm gear. All this melted plastic. Yeah, what a mess. My biggest concern is that crank seal right now. So let's just peel some of this garbage out of here. That's what's left of the worm gear. Not much. So where did all that plastic go? I mean, it melted. Maybe that was some of the fire. The bearing, she's stuck on there pretty good. And I think it's melted on. I mean, the plastic melted around it. So I'm trying to pop it off of here. She went sailing. So, there. I got the bearing off. And now I'm looking at the crank seal and I'm seeing some plastic in there. Let's just blow some of this schmutz out of here. Get it cleaned up a little bit. Take a closer look. Alright. So here's our oil pump drive, and there's plastic worm gear melted on that. So we're going to have to clean that off of there. And actually it comes off in one nice big piece. That worked out pretty well. The oil pump seems to turn normal. Not too concerned about that. We don't know yet if the oil system works, but the pump doesn't seem damaged. It's turning freely. Alright, there's some more melted plastic, more worm gear. Trying to scrape that off the case. You know, the saw looks like it gets some use. It's not abused though. Probably not maintained real well. So there you can see by my left thumb on your right side that tear in the chain guide plate and all the bluing from the heat that it was exposed to. Same with the drum. Got hot. So now what I want to do is I have the clutch and all the debris out of there. I want to make sure that that crank seal is good. So I'm kind of going through some basic things here. I'm going to put some fuel in it and try and start this. And try to determine if the crank seal is good or bad. Because it doesn't pay to put a bunch of money into a clutch that is going to be bolted to a roached engine. Alright, let's start this thing up and see what it does. Cripes. Not ready to start it yet. We're going to take a look underneath the hood. I know, I wanted to hear it run too. Kind of dusty under here. Probably dull chain syndrome. A lot of fines. On the same theme of not wanting to bolt a clutch to a roached engine, we're going to look into the cylinder and make sure that it's not scored. Really don't think, even if that seal is out, that he ran it very long that way, but wow, look at this plug. That's an aftermarket plug. Look at that plug.
I've never seen a plug like that.
No, that's a good argument for not using those cheap aftermarket plugs that come with the tune-up kits.
Hey.
It's just melted right away.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Hey, they think they saved themselves some money.
I saved so much money. You still have to buy the proper plug after that one fails. So this is a perfectly good example why buying cheap aftermarket parts doesn't save you money. You know, if you spent a fraction of the price of a brand name plug, but has to replace it with a brand name plug anyway, and you really didn't save any money. That thing, the center electrode was melted something terrible. Not good. And where'd all that molten metal end up going? So, just one more reason why I like to try and stick with OEM parts. Let's see how this thing runs.
Amazing what a good plug does, huh?
It wasn't in here for running issues. It was in here because he said there was a poof of fire coming from the clutch area. A poof of fire. I mean, she's roached. Clutch, drum, worm gear, guide plate. So if that crank seal was bad, we would have heard a change in the engine speed when I sprayed that brake cleaner all over the crank seal. And it remains steady. So the good news is that despite the excess heat that was on this side, it didn't damage that seal. So we've got our new parts here. We've got a new drum, we've got a new clutch, new guide plate, new bearing, new worm gear. Here's our bearing. Things look pretty clean over here. We should be able to reassemble it now. First thing I'm going to do is just take another look at that oil pump. I guess we're alright with that. First thing we're going to do is put that chain guide plate on here. And one single screw is going to hold it in place. Thousands of dollars worth of tools in that box right next to the bench here, and I'm using a scrunch as a screwdriver. Alright, let's put a little bit of grease on this crankshaft. And then we'll slide that worm gear on here. I'm going to grease the clutch bearing as well. We'll just set that off to the side for now. And I like to put a little bit of grease on the threads of the worm gear as well. So I'm pushing it on, and it doesn't seem to want to go on all the way. It gets a little bit tight. You can see it's not seated on there. Can't really grip it too well. We're going to have to pop that off of there. Hopefully it doesn't go flying across the shop like that bearing did. So what I just discovered was that there's a thin layer of that melted plastic worm gear, the last one. There's a thin layer of that stuck to the crankshaft. So it built up the diameter of that shaft, and now the new worm gear won't fit on there. So off comes the chain guide plate. Luckily it was a single screw. And we're going to try and remove that debris from there. You can see I can't, once I get it down to where it meets the oil pump, it's tight. So I'll wipe the grease off of here. Yeah. I'm going to have to come in and hit it with some emery paper or something. First I'm going to try and just sand it. And that's not really a good idea. And then I thought, well, I can just pull the cord and spin the crankshaft while I hold the paper in place. So I'll remove the spark plug to do that. Where's our sandpaper? Gotta be right there. I'm just kind of squeezing the sandpaper onto the crankshaft and pulling the cord. It's kind of cleaning it up, but it's not cleaning it all the way down to where the diameter of the crankshaft expands to the thicker area where the crank seal is. So I got to kind of get in there with a razor blade, do the same thing, and just hold the razor blade in place and pull the crankshaft. Or, I'm sorry, pull the starter cord and turn the crankshaft. And that seems to be doing it. You can see this big piece of plastic that came off of there. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, but you know, that worm gear, sometimes you even have to sand the inside of the worm gear to get them to fit over the crankshaft, so it's kind of a snug fit. But now I can run that thing all the way down, get the teeth to interlock with the oil pump, and it still spins freely on the crankshaft. And that's important because if it doesn't spin freely, then your chain might turn at idle. If the worm gear is locked to the crank, it's also turning the drum because it's already interlocked to the drum. And if it's turning the drum, it's turning the chain. So sometimes when you have a chain that's dragging, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a clutch spring that's a problem. It could be a dragging worm gear on this style of oil pump drive. So we got our worm gear in place. We've got our bearing on there. Here's our new drum. Fits on there good. Here's our clutch. A lot tighter than the old one. We're going to spit it on here. Remember, it's reverse threads. And with our official clutch tool from Husqvarna, we're going to buzz it into place. Engine compression helps a lot when you're buzzing these clutches on and off. If you've got the spark plug out and you're trying to remove a clutch using this method, you got to put your thumb over the spark plug hole. The plug's got to go back in anyway, so might as well do it now. We're going to make sure there's fuel in here, or an oil in here. Start it up, see if it oils. And if it does, then that's all I'm going to have for you on the 460 Husky that let out a big poof of fire. Thanks for watching. Later.